What's up? This your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode. This particular video and this episode of this video is a very short video. I'm going off the Cosmic Wonder, talking about Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors being recast in the MCU. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. But the real question is, are you ready? We about to get into this video. This particular video, the Cosmic Wonder, shout out to Warren Thompson. Make sure you guys are subscribed to his channel at the Cosmic Wonder. Talks about Jonathan Majors possibly being recast as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. So we're about to get into this video. Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
There has been a lot going on recently with Jonathan Majors. Most of you probably know that he was arrested a little bit ago. He was arrested March 25th for allegedly strangulation, assault, and harassment of his 30-year-old girlfriend. However, the case wasn't so clear-cut. There was a lot more to this case than meets the eye. As when he was arrested, his lawyer came out and stated that Jonathan Majors was actually a victim in this case and was not guilty of any of that. And not too long after, his lawyer released supposed text messages from his girlfriend stating that he didn't do any of it and that.
Now, if you have been following my channel, if this is the first time you follow my channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up for the video. But if you've been following my channel, I did post that information up. I talked about it on my channel about the text messages and things like that, and just my overall thoughts and feelings on that. So I believe that there's going to be two courts. There's going to be the courts that he has to go and prove that he's innocent, and then you're going to have the court of public opinion of what people think. And we've already demonstrated that. His lawyer has came out and said that this man is innocent. He was really the victim. So let's see how everything plays out before we actually jump to conclusions on who did what, when, and why. So
she would tell everybody, including the judge, the police, everyone, that he didn't in fact do it. So there is a lot going on with this case, and the case for Jonathan Majors goes to court May 8th. And the outcome of the court's decision on May 8th is going to determine a lot of things for the future of Jonathan Majors, including his future at Marvel Studios. Now, last that we've heard, Marvel Studios contemplating about possibly replacing Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU was kind of on hold.
In the whole thing about replacing Jonathan Majors off the allegation and all the information hasn't came out yet, just reminds me of how Warner Brothers jumped the gun on Johnny Depp and fired Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts. And come to find out, the whole Amber Heard thing, when the court came out and seeing the things that Amber Heard has done and all of that, and Johnny was really the victim of domestic violence from his wife, then everything changed. We don't need to do this with Jonathan Majors, and I don't even have to bring up another person named Ezra Miller, who literally turns into Reverse Flash on us because of everything he did. So let's keep going.
Insider Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast stated that he's heard that Marvel hasn't made any decisions regarding Jonathan Majors, but they've met with or spoken to his agent to discuss potential options going forward. And as far as we're concerned right now, Marvel Studios is basically waiting to see what the court decides on May 8th, or possibly even further down the line in the future if they don't come to a decision on May 8th.
And it's funny because no information has came out since then. Think about it like this. No information on Jonathan Majors or his case has happened since all of this stuff went down, which is a good sign. We don't know who the alleged woman is. We have no idea what's going on. So we're going to continue to find out as things progress. But if there was way more evidence that damaged Jonathan Majors' trust and belief, that the major trades and everybody would have found that information out and probably would have leaked it already, or someone would have leaked the information to the public. But we haven't heard anything, which is good. But let's continue.
which if it's pretty complex, then more than likely they won't. It'll more than likely take a few court dates. And like I said, if we heard anything else about this, about any further development of the story, we'd do an update, and that's what we're doing now. As we've heard, Marvel Studios might have a certain type of actor, or maybe a specific actor in mind, to potentially replace Jonathan Majors if all goes bad. Now, unfortunately, this is simply what Marvel Studios has to do. They have to be prepared for everything. They have to be prepared for Jonathan Majors being innocent and continuing forward with him in the MCU, in which there's still going to be some backlash because there are a lot of people out there that think that he is very much guilty.
And that's crazy. You have all the information, all the evidence that you're innocent, and people who still think you're guilty and need to lose your job and go and die slow and all this other. It's crazy how in a land where we're supposed to be living in democracy, that somebody could have an allegation and could be completely innocent and will still get destroyed in the public, destroyed in the publications, destroyed in the trades. And it's crazy that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of these, blog site editorials were making all these opinion pieces about how Jonathan Majors needs to get replaced. And literally we have no information on who, what, why, where, and when. We have the text messages that his lawyer leaked out and posted and everything. And we have not heard from that woman at all since the day that it happened. But it's crazy how people would think, yeah, this man is crazy. But I mean, this man is guilty. But literally, I mean, we seen that in Spider-Man No Way Home. So let's keep going.
And even if he's proven innocent, there are still going to be people who think he's guilty.
Crazy.
And of course, they have to be prepared for the opposite. They have to be prepared for him being found guilty. And according to this new report, they are indeed preparing for it. Now, there's a lot to talk about this, and we'll get into it. But first, let's go over this report. This report is coming from the same person, Jeff Snyder, who reported last time that Marvel Studios had spoken with the team for Jonathan Majors following his arrest. And on the Hot Mic podcast, he said this. Here's one I wanted to talk about. Did you see who got cast in that Brad Pitt racing movie? Damson Idris. I think he's from Snowfall. And so that's like a big part, right?
Okay, so Desmond Idris, this kid right here, is the person I felt, and I still feel, and I'm still gonna roll with it, that should have replaced TChalla in the MCU. I'm still on Recast TChalla, so nothing has changed, but this gives more evidence and more clairvoyance how Recast TChalla still could have happened. That they still didn't have to do what they did. They could have used, to me, if you had one person, if there was one person that I would pick that I could clearly see that can not only take the helm of the Black Panther that Chadwick started, but could be able to thrive and be able to be great in it, he's the one. He is the person that I can see immediately being the next Black Panther, taking over for Chadwick Boseman. I'm still on the Recast TChalla. I do not think he should be Kang the Conqueror. I believe even if they don't do and go back and watch a video from Be Real with D Real when he talked about the Solomon Frogs, which is brought up, I believe, in Black Panther Jack Kirby 1977, Black Panther #2, I believe. But there's ways to be able to bring Chadwick back, either, even if you do the time, if you go back in time and pull him from another timeline, that is the perfect person to play him. But let me get off my high horse. Recast TChalla. I'm still on that train. Let's continue to go.
Right? That is the young hotshot racer opposite Brad Pitt in this $150 to $200 million racing movie. That was a big deal that he got that. Speaking about
that kid is TChalla. That kid is not Kang the Conqueror. That kid is not whoever you want him to be. That kid is TChalla. That kid right there, literally his charisma, his acting chops, everything. That kid has it. He has the look. He has this prestige about him. He has this classiness about him. And I believe if he was cast as T'Challa in the MCU, not only would he bring honor to Chadwick Boseman's creation of the original of his version of the character, but bring in brand new fans and be able to take that character to the stratosphere. If Disney, I know I said a lot of things, but if anyone is listening to this video, that kid is your T'Challa. Kevin Feige, get on that. That kid is your T'Challa. He's not Kang the Conqueror. Do not wait until all the information comes out. Cast that kid as your T'Challa.
That part in that movie. And he goes on to say, and again, even though there hasn't been any movement on the Jonathan Majors front, I've heard that's the kind of actor who, like, if Jonathan Majors got the boot as Kang, someone like Damson Idris is the type of person
I don't want him as Kang
to replace him if
that is T'Challa, y'all.
To Jeff Snyder, Marvel hasn't yet made any official decisions, but they are in fact preparing for everything, which is something that the studio has.
Tell me you don't see that kid as T'Challa. Tell me, I will tell you you're lying if you don't see that kid as T'Challa. Not Eldridge Hodge, not nobody. He's younger. You know, he could be able to put on, you know, the bulk. And the Black Panther is not really he's not like Batman big. He's more slimmer, more agile, more, you know, I would say more athletic. That kid right there is your T'Challa. That's who I see. If Marvel does not do anything, cast that kid as your T'Challa. He's not Kang. I'm sorry. That's the kind of kid that you need to bring in and have him as the king of Wakanda.
Do. Now, this is pretty controversial right now in a lot of different ways, and we've tried to remain neutral on the channel here. Now, Jonathan Majors' portrayal as Kang, I do personally really love. I think he does a great job, and I was really, really excited to see him be Kang in the MCU. So the big question is, will Marvel actually replace him? And how much does that decision depend on the outcome of the court hearing? Because it really kind of depends.
Remember I said
Warner Brothers,
Amber Heard.
Look at everything that happened with Johnny Depp.
Man.
Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts movies. Then everything with Amber Heard burst out. There was so much going on with that, and the outcome resulted in Johnny Depp being fired from Warner Brothers and fired from the Fantastic Beasts movies. They replaced him. This could be what Marvel Studios is preparing to do. This exact situation where if Jonathan Majors is
wait until all the info comes out first.
However, then we have to look at Ezra Miller. He did a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh my God. Yo, Ezra Miller was out here literally being the Reverse Flash. Like literally being the Reverse Flash. And he got to keep his job. And they're promoting Flash, the new Flash movie. I mean, how many times I said that they need to recast this kid? They didn't. They stuck by him. They said he had mental issues and we're going to get him help. Is anybody saying that they're going to get Jonathan Majors help? Matter of fact, let's be real. Nobody had anything, nowhere, no now, no nothing of Jonathan Majors being violent or being evil or any of this prior to now. So let's keep it real. You know what I mean? But Ezra Miller got to keep his job. There's some hypocrisy going on, and we need to be able to find out the truth before we go there.
Yet he is still the Flash. They are still promoting his movie, and Warner Brothers expressed that they were concerned for their mental health and were getting them help. So two very different decisions were made for two very different actors who did two very different things. And in fact, I would state that Ezra Miller probably caused more problems for
he did a lot
than Johnny Depp did. Now, there's obviously a lot that goes into this decision making that we don't really get to hear about. And right now, as it stands, it does look like Jonathan Majors has some proof that he is innocent.
He did.
And if
he
that
did
is
post
the case,
some information.
If he is found innocent, then Marvel Studios shouldn't do anything. They should continue with him as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. In fact, the only reason that he was arrested is because it is an actual procedure that the cops have to do when they arrive on scene.
Okay, so what he's talking about, I was in law enforcement for 4 years, is that anytime you have a domestic violence case, if anybody called for a domestic dispute, you know, whether somebody putting their hands on you or argument or something like that, if the cops arrive on the scene for any type of domestic dispute, somebody got to go to jail. And unless they see a woman putting her hands on a man, the man 9 times out of 10 is going to go to jail before the woman does. So that and I know I'm in Kansas City. That happens. I'm not for sure if that happens around every single county, state, or whatever, but I guarantee you it is because it's a law here. So that's what he's talking about when he's talking about that procedure.
Jonathan Majors' attorney stated, "Unfortunately, this incident came about because this woman was having an emotional crisis, for which she
called
was
the
taken
police
to a hospital yesterday. The NYPD is required to make an arrest in these situations, and this is the only reason Mr. Majors was arrested. We expect these charges to be dropped soon." And like I mentioned, they also came out recently and shared screenshots that this woman sent Jonathan
text
Majors,
messages
stating that he was indeed innocent, that he didn't touch her, and that she was willing
that's the
to
text
tell
messages.
the court and the police that exact thing, that he was innocent. And this is what Jonathan Majors' lawyer was talking about when she said that he was the victim, because he was arrested for really not doing anything. And of course, people are up in arms stating that they kind of forced her to say that. And we don't know. We do know that as soon as...
I mean, I did see a lot of people talking about, oh, Jonathan Majors came out and told her to say these things in the text messages. If you read that text message thing, that text message, thread, I mean, I couldn't get it out. Text message thread. It looks like that's what she was saying to him. And he said, "Where the keys at?" And then he said, "Bye, bleep." I don't think he made her say that. You know what I mean? So let's keep going.
Jonathan Majors was arrested before any news came out. His lawyer did state he was innocent. We'll have to wait and see what the court says, which apparently is what Marvel Studios is waiting for as well.
Yep,
now, there is the possibility that even if he is found guilty, they could keep him as Kang. This is what Warner Brothers and DC did with Ezra Miller.
They
However,
did.
It does seem like Marvel Studios is preparing to replace him. They have to do that.
I mean, I understand the procedure, but I don't think he should be replaced.
Kang is a huge character in
Yes.
the MCU right now. He's going to be in a lot of different projects, but he is going to be the main person in the Kang dynasty.
Yes.
And again, in Secret Wars, it's all about him. He's the big bad. So Marvel has to be prepared. So what would exactly happen if they replaced him? Well, in a multiverse saga, it wouldn't exactly be that hard. We are right now existing in a universe within the MCU, that is, obviously not real life, where variants are a thing. And as we learned from Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home, etc., variants don't have to look exactly the same. Variants...
And literally, we seen this... matter of fact, even if you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, you know, there was Kangs that didn't look exactly like him. There was a Skrull Kang. I mean, you know, he looked like a lizard. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it doesn't have to. But, again, this brings up more points when it comes to Recast T'Challa. And the reason why that brings up more points when it comes to Recast T'Challa is that, A, it doesn't have to look like the guy. B, you know, you could do time. You could do going back in time. You can go forward in time. You could be able to pull somebody from any other multiverse. There's still ways to be able to bring a character back. And he's actually giving you all the key points on how to bring one of these characters back. And I truly wish Marvel Studios do not recast Kang, recast T'Challa with that kid, Desmond Eldridge. I'm saying his name wrong. But that kid, that's your T'Challa though. I'm saying.
Come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and sometimes even species. We did see a Skrull version of Kang in the Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene. So although I do think Jonathan Majors acting as Kang the Conqueror was phenomenal, it wouldn't exactly be that hard to replace him, unfortunately. The whole multiverse and variants make it pretty easy to explain why this new Kang the Conqueror all of a sudden doesn't look like the ones that we've dealt with before. He Who Remains and the Kang that is in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The only thing that...
And it's crazy because this is the same argument that I brought up about Recast T'Challa and somehow I was wrong. And anti-recasters, they're literally telling you Warren is telling you the blueprint. I have a lot of respect for Warren, but he's telling you the blueprint, how we came about with Recast T'Challa. It didn't have to be immediate, but do not kill the character off.
they would really kind of have to explain is the Council of Kings. We've already seen the three of them, the King Trio, so those have been established as looking like Jonathan Majors essentially. Now, you could essentially make them kind of look similar because of all the makeup and prosthetics they were wearing, but of course everybody will still notice that's not the same actor that we saw
It
before.
don't matter.
And if they replace him, that's just kind of something that is just how it is. There's no real way to get around that. But as far as the main villain of the Kang Dynasty goes in Secret Wars, he doesn't exactly have to look like the other variants. Now, I do hope everything is true. I hope that was a big misunderstanding. I hope Jonathan Majors did nothing to that woman, and I hope she is truly okay and she was simply going through a hard time and there was a big misunderstanding and everything's going to be okay in the MCU. But we'll have to wait and see what really happens.
That's
we'll
what I'm
have to see
hoping
what the
for.
court decides. In the meantime, we are curious to hear your thoughts about this, so please leave them in the comments down below.
I'm going to do that for him anyway. Make sure that you guys are liking and sharing and subscribing to his channel because Warren is awesome at what he does. All right, so what did you guys think about the video? What did you think about Jonathan Majors possibly being replaced? Did you think Desmond Elders could be able to play Kang the Conqueror, or do you think he should be able to be playing somebody else like TChalla? That's just my thoughts. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. Make sure that you go and follow Warren Thompson's channel, The Cosmic Wonder. I've been following him for the last probably, I think, 5 years. Very good information, very good guy. Make sure to follow him. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.